Hello there everyone, this is Mark3 and welcome back to honestly one of the views I love about this game. Just a look at my factory world of Kuat Miner as it quite steadily chugs away doing whatever the heck it's doing. Oh, the beastie's got a life of its own, I'm pretty sure. Well, actually it's more like I plugged a few extra parts into it and it's building up its stockpiles now, which has led to some interesting findings about it, honestly. Like, well, less about Kuat Miner, but more... Did you know I'm actually very low on coal, of all things? Yeah, apparently I burned too much coal, so I need to actually try and fix that at some point with more mining operations. I also, you know that export control hub blueprint I did, which is like, this thing will import and export very neatly, and it will make sure to proliferate everything and all that jazz. It also restricts output to 60 per second, so that's part of the reason why I'm having a few resource issues, I think. It's like, it's throttling stuff. Oh, look at all the activity. Kuat Miner is actually giving me FPS warnings basically on most of the planets, off and on, so depending on how much is happening, it's actually giving me FPS warnings. Anyway, on to the main thingamajiggy, the elephant in the room. Yes. Which is my apologies for the unplanned hiatus. I think is the only thing I can say to describe it, really. Unplanned hiatus. Because I certainly didn't plan to take time away from anything. But real life just has a habit of intruding sometimes. I am sorry. Also, I don't know how my tone's going to be if I sound off or if I'm reacting to things oddly. I am off my meds right now. And that's because my local pharmacy's had trouble getting a pharmacist in, and they forgot to give me my antidepressants. And that's a few weeks ago now, and I've not been able to get my hands on any, so... I've been feeling weird, let's put it that way. Anyway. Enough. That's all the whining I'm going to do. Let's actually get started on some more interesting doodads, shall we? First off, I've started right next to my mini fusion power plants because I made an interesting little find which I didn't know about, and that's the fact you can sideload these things. They can actually draw from each other in series, just like how machines can in Factorio. So powering one side and then straight through to the next one, and it's made this particular bank of generators really easy to put together. So it's just like one line. It's like a nice dense power supply, so that's actually gone a long way towards fixing my power situation for Kuat Miner. So, you know, it's quite humming along quite nicely at 1.7877 gigawatts. Not bad. The next thing though, which I wanted to talk about, is I'm going to actually tear out some of these solars, which by the way are not affected by shadow. I think I mentioned this before, but it doesn't care about being in the shade of a orbital port or anything like that. And I say I'm going to do that because I am going to be adding one last little feature to the concept I've got going on here of a central production planet, which is producing all of the shiny McGubbins for me in my far-off use to conquer and exploit the universe. And that's the fact that, well, not that one. This one's a bad example because it's a conveyor belt, so I generally need a lot of those. But this is a good example. There's nothing here because I don't have the parts built yet. But these things ship way too much. Whenever I put in a request to get some, it's like, here, have 1,000. Now, it's not exactly what you want. At least, it's not what I want. I don't want my inventory suddenly clogged with like 20 stacks of pretzel making factories because I wanted 10, you know? And with no option to really send them back, it's like, hey, you got to scrap them and the replacements have got to get made, so not much point in doing that. So, I swear I had a plan in here somewhere, and I think the row I can put them on is this row here. So I'm going to have to scrap some of these things. I want to make sure I can put it in, but well, this is just a convenient place to put it in, really, I guess. I know it's taking power plant, but those mini fusions have definitely taken over that. There we go. Right. Da-na-na-na. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take over the FTL for these guys, and I'm going to instead tell it to have the FTL for these guys. And it counts, I need like 36, 37 exports. So that's like, it's not going to take many of these guys, especially if I don't import space warpers to them. If I link them in via conveyor from a different point, that'll work. But let's take these guys. I never want really more than a stack of these, so if I drop these to like 100, like that, and of course this is below what a logistics drone will take, but it also means it'll be shipped a logistics drone's worth of material because they're all set to 100% logistics drone, you know? And that's my plan. So, minimum warp, drone loads. I'll get slightly over a stack of these whenever I call them in, and I'll just tell them to local demand it. It'll sort itself out, ideally. I'm not sure why I'm not getting a wireless power tower. Oh, because I'm not producing the those prism part things. Okay, that's another part I need to do. And then I just need to go back into here and tell it to not export from these. I'll also have to go, of course, to my home world and disconnect the building production lines over there as well, which is why Kuat Miner needs to be brought up to full capacity. And actually producing all components required. I forgot I didn't have... I forgot I didn't actually have... do I have prisms? I don't have plasma exciters. And Kuat Miner is running out of space just a little bit. Where can I install these things? Oh, there's a row right there. Okay, what are you being used for? Finish your autosave, thank you. What are you being used for? I think you're on the gear factory line, actually. Yeah, the one-to-one, but... oh, there's a line there I can use, but I want to use that line for something else important as well, if I can. Which is... Actually, I want to try and get graphene alternate production going, because that one will use the fire ice, which I can get from gas giants, rather than the carbon into refined graphite, which is using coal. So that's a process I was going to ignore, but it's definitely worth getting set up. But anyway, let's go ahead and actually start getting more of this stuff laid in and correcting the settings on these guys. And I guess these guys don't need interstellar ships now if they're going to actually... Yeah. Okay, BRB. That wasn't too bad. Just to quickly show you, I have got these guys set up. I've set the transportation limit for the logistics vessels down to 1%, so they'll always launch. I haven't reprogrammed all the individual building production stations yet, because that's still on to-do list, but to move every building except for, like, a couple, which is, I think, I left out thermal power plants simply because I can build mini fusions. And yeah, I think that's basically the only thing I left out. Though I also added logistics vessels and logistics drones, which I'm not manufacturing locally. I'd forgotten about that one as well. And to do all of that, all I needed was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 of these guys. and they will prevent me from over-shipping buildings to the degree I have been up until this point, so they can handle everything. Oh, that's a component I forgot. Oops. Just let the autosave do itself again. Right. One last thing. Foundations. Mildly important. And since I normally order like a whole bunch at once, 1,000 stacks, let's say 10 stacks when I went to resupply with these guys. So let's give it 10 stacks of that. And then the others, the main foundation factory on this world will also act as like a buffer, and that'll work quite nicely. So yeah, there we go. Anyway, let's get on with reprogramming and get some more stuff, because another advantage of this is, rather than me having to go around looking at all the individual factories saying, am I making this, am I making that? This is actually a more condensed version as well. This shows me exactly what buildings I am and am not making at the moment in a very comparatively compact area, which is nice. Like, I know I'm not making these guys because I don't have the quantum CPUs, which I am actually on the verge of being able to produce. I need frame components for these guys, which I am also on the verge of being able to produce, so it's like getting the last few production lines into Kuat Minor, and then it should be good to go. I guess the last thing to do with these stations is actually hook up the warpers, which I will. There they are. 100. Set for demand, because of course they are still being imported from the home world. And I've also found that to get past the solar panels, I need to get a height of 4 going. So what I've settled on is I'm going to do this. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I can just ramp it up like that. At least that was my thought. Come on. Stop clipping. Fine. Oh, I was going too high, that's why. Do that, then run along here, and then just nice and neat, drop it down to plug into the next one like that. And I'm going to do that all the way around, and that's just going to be a simple warper supply. See, there's warpers coming in right now. Most excellent. Anyway, let's get back on with the factory building. More factory, yes. I also admit, by the way, it's partly because of the voices and things. Well, I said the voices. As I said, I'm off my meds. And this is like, I think my 6th or 7th attempt to sit down and actually get back to recording this, so shows how bad I was getting, I think. But yeah, I'm going to try and be back now, so I can only apologise for that. Ah, darn it. I really should have been... I should have managed to come back to this game sooner. I forgot what a chill time it is just playing on this game. Wait, where have the last few hours gone? No, seriously, where have the last few hours gone? Anyway, I need to go find the stuff. It's over there. Oops. Here we go. No, that's not it. Oops. Forgive me, it's been a while. I forgot where I was going. Oh yeah, I need battery production as well. Right. How does that old saying goes? No, I was just saying that for dramatics. I remember how it goes. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Yeah, that's the one, definitely. But in this case, it's just like less about it not being broke, and more about the fact that I'm making an improved version A more compact version as well, actually, which is quite a nice little thing. Unloads there. And load. Load. In fact, I should let's do the let's do the thing. So, I don't know if you guys recall, but the 2-input manufacturing blueprint was always kind of like a little bit bulky, a little bit weird, a little bit off. I think is probably the best way to put it. So instead, because of I don't really have any spots in the lines where I put the 2 things left to actually add some new stuff to it, I've got this instead. So I've basically inverted it a little bit. I've got the split between the input feeds, where I'm going to put the power poles. I've got the trick I worked out for the 3 and 4 times one, where I have the feed for the 20% bonus, sorry, 25% bonus product above to make it a little bit more compact. And I'm building it as far as the edge of the blueprint as well, because it doesn't need to have the power poles along the edge anymore. And so it won't really mind going all the way up to the edge, and it won't clash with power poles nearby. At least that's my thought. And the result is that I've got one of these things which is actually narrower than the 3. And you've got to remember, I think this thing is slotted into the original line for a 1, even. Yeah, this is fitted into the original feed line for a single input-output, which I was a bit more generous than space one for, I must admit. But this is nice, a nice ultra-compact little thing. And I figured I'd just share it. First off, to get a little bit of extra content in here, but it's like, this is a building game, so you know, it's kind of relevant, it's on topic. But, oops, gotta be careful with the click and drags. That's something I've noticed with the FPS struggling a bit. The click and drag doesn't always work properly, it doesn't engage as intended, so yeah. One of the reasons why this world is getting a bit too busy for my system to readily simulate properly. At least while I'm on it. I don't know what'll happen if I'm off it, but yeah, whatever. Okay, right, just need some power poles, and this thing will be good to go. And yep, that catches all of the things on the things around it. Just to be sure, let's put it on the end ones. And then I'll put in 2 more in the middle. Like so. And yeah, nice compact new line assembly. If it ain't broken, don't fix it. But that doesn't mean you can't improve it and come up with a different version or 2. Though I admit, I only came up with this version because my previous one wouldn't actually load into this part of the planet grid. There wasn't enough room for the original version as well, it's just this one... It wouldn't fit the stackers in place. Because they were saying, hey, you're colliding. It's like, no. Ah well. Yeah, that'll do. Because there's a couple of components that need 2 inputs that I need to produce. And then I'll be able to fire up some bigger 3 production lines as well. So, yeah. Should all be good, right? Maybe. Possibly. Kinda. Always been one of my favourite parts in Dyson's Sphere program, actually. When I turn things on. So I use the available space in what was left of this line to produce photon collision things. I think they're called. What are they called? They are photon combiners, which I'm not producing locally. Photon combiners is also, of course, a stepping stone into I think it was solar sats. Yes, it was solar sats, as well as needing for a few other bits and pieces. So a needed intermediate there. I'm also beginning production of thrusters and reinforced thrusters, both of which are not required specifically in large quantities, so I've just built like a starter production area of each of these. Nothing much, just a bank of 10 for each, so, you know, still much bigger than I already have, but it should be enough to keep up for all of my demand, which is, I think for the thrusters it's just for the logistics drones, logistics ships, and the big thrusters also required for gas harvesting stations. I think that's about it, so not a major concern, that. I mean, we don't even need them for the shuttles. The shuttles are just strap raw deuterium to the sides of a rocket and watch it grow, so, you know, kind of odd they don't require thrusters of any kind, but, yeah. I'm not going to look into it, it is what it is. Let's file all this up, shall we? So, demand for these guys, which I am producing. Demand for these guys, which I am producing. I am, by the way, producing photon... No, not photon combiners. I am producing plasma exciters around the place, actually. It's just, the building I thought made me think I'm not producing that is blocked by something else, and now that starts to do this, we start to see the resources flowing and the factory lines coming to life, and it also has a knock-on effect because as these things are starting to drain and produce, then their source industries also fire up as well, so the entire planet gets busier, and that's what I like about it. Demand. Seems like we have a shortage of electromagnetic turbines. Okay, I'm going to have to look into that one. But we are just fine for reinforced thrusters. Well, we're producing reinforced thrusters anyway. This one shouldn't have a problem though, this is just standard thrusters. Not a problem. Yep, that skyrockets, and so does that one. So yeah, we are producing the standard thrusters and the... As I say, we're not producing the intermediates because, well, yeah, we are short on turbines. I got the achievement a few episodes back for producing many turbines, if I recall. Apparently I'm not producing enough turbines. We're going to have to figure that one out, but yep, look at that. Combiners are already being demanded and off they go. I think it's for the advanced mine production, actually. I forget what I need them for. They are flying to... Is it you? No. Is it you? Yes, what are you? Ah! Geothermal power stations. Very nice. Okay. So that's doing a thing. Now I just need to find in my network the actual thing, which is over that way. Okay. Turbines. Why am I... This production area is silent. Because I don't have enough coal coming in. I need more coal. It's being produced as fast as I can, but it's like my coal is just too inefficient. I really need to get that fixed. It's because proliferation loss is affecting the entire factory again. Oh well. Right, where's the turbine production? Turbine production was up here. Oh yeah, this is something we can start up. This is another production line I set for the logistics drones. So, knock-on effects, we are producing everything required for that, so we can begin production. And again, we'll let the factory get a bit busier, so... Demand. I think I want to set that to 4,000 a pop. Just in case to account for travel times. Also, I never actually populated and finished this one, so there we go, that's all that. Slight flaw in the blueprint, it doesn't actually have a power coupling for that, so let's couple that one in. And there we go, we are now producing our own local logistics drone supply, which is great. Again, not the biggest thing here, there's a gap here, so I tucked it in. So you are producing the frame materials. So, you know, one of those nice chunky late game materials. Entire production bank here is ready to roll. So again, let's fire you up. Da, 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 da. I think I'm going to need... Let's say 5k for each of these guys, actually. Be generous. Activate. Activate. Okay, that's all flying away. And look, suddenly the skies of Karat Minor have got a lot busier. And as I said, this is kind of why I like it. It's like it takes the industry, gives it an output, a direction to go, and then everything just starts working if you've got everything ticking over properly. Which admittedly I don't, but it just looks so pretty. So pretty. As they scurry here, there and everywhere, trying to do all the things. Look at those swarms of drones. That's why I also set it to have like 5,000 or 6,000 or so storage. Because it takes them so long to get around the planet and then come back again sometimes. So, you do have to bear in mind, travel time, big factor. Fly! 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 Yes, fly. Anyway, turbines. I was looking for turbines. I'm not sure where the turbine factories are, actually. You are... I know what electromagnetic ring... Oh, here's the motor line. Right, and here's the... mag line. Right. And it's only a 2 for the turbine line, which... I seem to recall installing it over here. Here we go. Turbines. Oh, did I produce a short line? Is that what I did? Let's do the math. Let's see. 2 to 2 to 2, 30, 15. So that requires 15 minus 5 minus a half is 10. Sorry. Yeah. Minus the assembly speed boost is 10. And then it takes 2 seconds to make 20. Okay, so a 30 per second belt requires 20. And 10. Yeah, it's less. It's below that. So it's not quite a complete one, but it's still not enough. Interesting. Well, that said, it also seems to be short on motors as well. I wasn't expecting to need more of these guys. I mean, the motors is a small pain, but turbines... Well, it's a good thing I designed that more compact layout, isn't it? Right. Still though, the fact is we've got the frame production going, and actually the frame production will be going into more of the building production because knock-on effects. Let's see where that's supplying. Just fly along. I'm sorry, it's this last 10 minutes is like, pretty for the most part, and also looking at some shortages in production. But if you don't take the time to look at the game, then you're kind of wasting part of the point, I think, aren't you? Okay, you're going into production of miniature particle colliders. Ooh, very fancy. And I need that for some other materials, actually. So that's great. Were you waiting on them? You were, but you're still waiting on Quantum's chips, so that's why you haven't fired up properly. So you've just got a local stockpile going on. But yeah, getting miniature particle colliders, getting... There was some other stuff that needed frames, I believe. I just forget where. That's the problem, there's so many things in here. And that's the other reason why it took me 7 tries to sit down and just do this, because... Well... When my brain chemistry goes to burble, it's like... I can struggle a little bit to focus on factory games. A tad. Just a tad. That said, we have just hit the half-hour mark, I'm afraid, so it is actually time to be ending this particular episode here. The next episode will not take 2 to 3 weeks. I will do the next episode a lot sooner than that, just to let you know. And I guess, closing note, harkening back to the discussion that was going on the last couple of episodes, which was about FTL travel and stuff like that. Happy Hafers was talking about how quantum entanglement makes 2 particles behave as one, and that state can be kept when moving them apart. So it is a form of instantly moving information between one particle and the other. Change one particle, observe the other particle which is far away, and it's like, snap your fingers, there you go. Though Happy Hafer was saying that that's like something that doesn't fit in with the 3 things I mentioned before for FTL stuff, which is like, first off, it does some way to break the laws of physics. Second off is it goes into another dimension, and the third was a machine that applies the first 2 to the vessel in question. Honestly, got to remember that we are talking about like FTL drives, though. Happy Hafer's comment was in the vein of talking about teleportation, in which case you need a whole bunch of molecules, otherwise you're going to have a very lousy bit rate on it. There is that. But I would argue that since it bypasses the conventional laws of physics a bit, but since we're talking about quantum mechanics, so yeah, basic laws of physics, speed of light, it transmits the information potentially faster than light. In fact, quantum entanglement, it should do it. I mean, it's a very dear concept to me, actually, quantum entangled communication, but in the context of what was being talked about, it kind of bypasses the laws of physics to get information moving faster than the speed of light. So, that's my take on that. Quantum entangled communications, though. It's a fun concept for high-speed transmission of information over interstellar distance, and it might be one of the only viable ways we can come up with if we can get it working properly. Hey, I still like all the tech and stuff. I'm a very science fiction-y kind of guy. But until next time, because I've definitely lost the plot a little bit. This has been I, Mark 3. Thank you all very much for watching. Trying to launch while I was auto-saving. Whoopsie. Thanks for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed the show. And again, apologies for the delay. Next one will be a lot sooner. But until then, see you all later. Look at all the drones as they fly. Ah. A bustling forge world. And it's not even full yet. There's still space for more stuff. Just as well, because there's more stuff that it's not producing yet as well.